Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we help you understand the hidden stories in corporate filings. And today we're diving into what looks like a pretty standard report, but let's see if there's a hidden twist. This is a report from IES Holdings Inc. filed on August 1st, 2025. Basically, it's a company letting us know what's been going on with them. Holdings is traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker ASD. They're incorporated in Delaware and have been around for a bit with a company file number and an IRS employee identification number you can see here. The main news here is about their financial results for the third quarter of fiscal year 2025. They issued a press release on August 1st announcing these third quarter results. Think of this press release as the company's initial announcement to the world about how they did financially. And this official filing just confirms and includes that announcement. And it looks like they also put together a presentation for investors called IES Holdings Q3 2025 earnings presentation and put it on their website. They're promising to keep it there for at least 30 days. This is all about they're not hiding anything, which is good to see. They are registered on the NASDAQ Global Market, which is a major stock exchange. This means their stock is available for pretty much anyone to buy and sell. No, we don't have the actual financials in this filing itself, just the announcement that financials are out. So we'll focus on what they're communicating and the context around it. So while IES Holdings has put out a press release and a presentation detailing their financials, this particular document, the 8K, is primarily a heads up that these financials their third quarter results and provided an investor presentation. What's really important here is that these are the results for the third quarter of their fiscal year 2025. This means we'd need to look at that associated press release or their earnings presentation to get the actual numbers. What is interesting is how they are framing it. They are not just announcing their results, but also making a presentation available. This suggests they might have some key takeaways they really want to emphasize, or perhaps they want to give investors a deeper dive beyond just the headline numbers. The fact that they are providing a presentation alongside the press release usually means they want to give a narrative to the numbers. Sometimes companies do this when the numbers are particularly strong and they want to really sell the growth story. Other times they might do it when the numbers are a bit mixed and they need to explain what's going on and reassure investors about the future. Without seeing that presentation, it's hard to say for sure, but it's a proactive step to communicate their performance. Now, looking at the overall structure, this 8K filing is quite straightforward in what it's reporting. It's specifically highlighting the release of their quarterly financial information. This filing is being signed off by Mary Kay Newman, who serves as their General Counsel and Corporate Secretary. This signature simply confirms that the company has accurately reported the information they are required to. So let's think about what this really means for IES Holdings and its investors. They've officially communicated their Q3 2025 financial results through a press release and have provided a presentation for a more in-depth look. This is standard practice for publicly traded companies to keep investors informed. From a high level, the company is telling us they've had a reporting period and they are sharing that information. The real meat of the performance story, the actual numbers like revenue, profit, and where the money is coming from and going to would be in that separate press release and presentation. It's like getting the table of contents for a book, but not the book itself. To really decode what happened financially, you'd need to examine those accompanying documents. What's potentially interesting here is the type of information they're highlighting. By specifically mentioning the earnings presentation, they're signaling that there's more to the story than just a standard earnings release. It suggests they might be framing a narrative around their quarterly performance, perhaps explaining strategic initiatives, market conditions, or forward-looking guidance. We should also consider the timing. This report is dated August 1st, 2025, so it's about their third quarter results for the fiscal year 2025. Depending on when their fiscal year begins, this could encompass the spring and early summer months of 2025. How a company performs in these particular quarters can be quite telling about its operational efficiency and market response. While this filing doesn't contain the financial tables themselves, it points us to where they are. The key takeaway is that IES Holdings is actively communicating its financial health. A proactive approach with an investor presentation suggests a desire for transparency and a structured way to explain their performance, which can be a good sign for investor confidence. Now, interpreting the actual financial performance would require digging into that press release and presentation. If those documents show significant growth, a strong profit margin, or successful new ventures, that would indicate a company that's executing well. Conversely, if they reveal declining revenues, shrinking profits, or increased debt, that would signal potential challenges. The real analysis comes from comparing these numbers to previous periods and to industry benchmarks. For instance, if their revenue grew by 5% but their main competitor grew by 15%, that tells a different story than if they were the fastest growing in their sector. Similarly, if their profit margin is shrinking because of rising costs, that's a warning sign about their ability to manage expenses or pricing power. The presentation likely aims to put these figures in the best possible light, so a critical eye is always necessary. The fact that they are registered on the Nasdaq Global Market means they are subject to the rules and regulations of the SEC and Nasdaq, which generally provides a level of oversight and investor protection. This filing, the 8K, is one of those required reports. So what's my take on this? This filing itself is like a notification. It's telling us that financial updates have been made public. The real story of IES Holdings' performance in Q3 2025 is in the documents it references. The company appears to be using the standard channels to communicate with its investors, and the inclusion of an earnings presentation suggests a thoughtful approach to explaining their results. The strength or weakness of the company really hinges on the actual numbers within that press release and presentation. Are they growing? Are they profitable? Are they managing their debt? That's what we'd need to see to give a solid opinion on their direction. Any significant risks or opportunities would also be detailed within investor communications about their financials. What did you think of this filing and what it signals about IES Holdings? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more easy to understand looks at corporate filings. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community. The link is in the description below to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. We're going to be going through how to read an X video.